You know, when you get into these classes where they teach Marxism, Leninism, or Maoism, or as a whole, communism as a whole, you know, they can really brainwash you. You're given heavy doses of this indoctrination that when you come in, you become some sort of a hardcore. You know, you hate the Europeans as a whole. And when you see a missionary talking, preaching, or you think he's filling your people with, you know, imperialist ideas, and suddenly you would like to kill him.
We were not ordered into ranks or anything. We were left standing, loose formation, just standing across the roadway. The 3 terrorists stood out in front of us with their rifles at the ready, and the others then seemed to give some form of a command. At this moment, the 3 standing ahead of us opened fire, and I saw the center gun blazing. I instinctively half turned and fell to the ground. There was one continuous and short burst, and then silence. I lay still. It was probably only for a matter of seconds. And then, as there was dead silence around me, I began to realize that I had not been hit. And looking back on it, from the point of view of a missioner, realizing full well that the people perpetrating these horrendous deeds against those who are working for the well-being of the Africans, we were, understandably, I think, we were quite stunned. The brutality, of course, of the deed made us wonder, or should I correct that and say, left us with little to the imagination. It was so obvious that this was a real communistic attack.
I've seen many missionaries dead, most recently in Lupani, where they killed a group of missionary nursing nuns and the woman doctor. It's just hard to understand what they think they are accomplishing. I suppose they feel that if they terrorize the population, the black population, the missionaries are a way of terrorizing the black and the white population, they are accomplishing something.
And again he said, I shoot you if you don't give me money. Then Sister Francis was rather quiet and said, please believe us, we have no money. We are just on a visit to a sick person in the hospital. We have no money. And Father Busendi said, I'm sorry, I can't give you money. I give you money at our place. So then the bishop stood in front of him. He suddenly said, I shoot you, and he shot him right through the chest. And he fell down. And I saw that he was dead. I saw it immediately that he was killed.
Sister, you've been in Rhodesia for some long time, and you've spent a lot of time working with Africans.
Yes.
Have you any doubt who committed this atrocity?
How do you mean this?
I mean, was this possibly committed by Rhodesian security forces, for example?
No, by no means, by no means. You know, Father Busendi said, we are missionaries, and then thereupon he said, all missionaries are enemies of the country.
As soon as we get the country, Christianity is completely going to fade away, and it will be replaced by communism. And they said that the people are going to be re-educated, you know, take away those ideas of Christianity and replace them by communism and socialism.
You've talked about the attitude that you were advised to adopt towards white missionaries, but what about the case, for example, of a black priest? If you and your gang had come across a black priest preaching to a congregation in an open-air meeting, for example?
Well, obviously we will kill him, because as I've said before, he will be, you know, mobilizing the people, giving them imperialist ideas, filling them with, you know, sort of capitalist ideas into their heads. So we'll just say he's one of the government's agents. He's one of the, you know, he's a part of the capitalist machine, which, you know, exploits the people. So we go to kill him. And we can take over from there. Our political commissar can take over and re-educate them, you know, telling them now communism, how good it is, socialism, how good it is, and discrediting Christianity. Because, you know, communists don't like Christianity.
That's why we have to train an army who will protect people of all races in this country. But what's more important, protect the freedom of worship, that we may have the choice to live a Christian's way of life, a life in Christ as opposed to the atheistic ideology of communism.
All the bases in Mozambique, they only do basic training. Like at Temple, they used to train with logs, which are shaped as guns. When they come into the country, that's when he first fires his live round.
We fight because our way of life is something that we feel is basically good and basically right. And we have to fight against communism or go under and accept all that communism means.
When you come into the country, you'd like very much to fight. You'd like very much to get rid of this so-called exploitation and capitalism and imperialism. You think you're a gallant, patriotic fighter or some sort.
Men of all colors have paid the price. Some have been maimed and wounded in this war. Others have paid the supreme sacrifice. Pretend to be a crusading army of dedicated Christians, but more than ever, we need to turn to God and seek His will in this land, our land being scarred by war. We did not ask it, but in God we seek the strength to live through it and overcome and be victorious through Him.